Hey everyone, welcome back to Clues by Sam. It's Friday today and we have a tricky one, which is interesting. And you're more than welcome to play and let me know how it went for you. The link is in the description, but if you just want to follow along or if you don't know what Clues by Sam is at all, it is a daily logic puzzle game where you have 20 people and each of them may be a criminal or an innocent. And you gotta figure out what each person is using the clues that they themselves give you. So it's a pure logic game where you gotta do no guessing. And we can start right away for today's puzzle. Mark's telling us that exactly 2 of the 4 innocents neighboring Noah are in column B. So Noah has 5 neighbors total. 4 of them are innocent, which means that he has only 1 criminal neighbor. And since 2 of them are in column B, he has 3 people neighboring him in column B, which means that since 2 of them are innocents, 1 of them is going to be the criminal, which means that both Jason and Tyler are innocent. Otherwise, Noah would have 2 criminal neighbors, which wouldn't make sense. But we still don't know who the criminal is among these 3 people. So let's leave that clue there. Now, Jason tells us that there's an odd number of criminals neighboring him. But that doesn't really help us because Jason has 5 neighbors as well. Even if Noah's criminal neighbor were also Jason's neighbor, like let's say that Kay is a criminal, Jason could still have 2 more criminal neighbors that would still make an odd number. So we don't know anything new about with that clue yet. So let's leave that there and let's look at Tyler's. Gabe is one of 2 innocents in between Barb and Vince. In between Barb and Vince, there's 3 people. 2 of them are innocent. It couldn't be Gabe. What? 2 of them are innocent, so Gabe could Gabe be a criminal? They could, if both Kay and Ollie were innocent. No, because the clue is telling us that Gabe is an innocent. So sorry. But since we know, that there's 2 innocents and 3 people, there has to be 1 other innocent and 1 criminal here, which tells us that the criminal neighbor for Noah is either Kay or Ollie neighboring Jason. So Vince is also an innocent. And now Gabe tells us that exactly 1 innocent to the left of Diane is neighboring Evie. Diane has 3 people to the left of her. 2 of them neighbor Evie, but only 1 of them is an innocent. So either Anna or Barb are an innocent and the other one's a criminal. Okay. And also about Jason, both Evie and Noah could be criminals and Jason will still have an odd number of criminals, so we still don't know about that clue. Vince tells us that Logan is one of Kay's 5 criminal neighbors. So we know that Logan is a criminal. And that Kay has 5 criminal neighbors. What does that tell us? How many people are left for Kay that are not assigned yet? 4. And she has 1 criminal neighbor only. So she has to have 4 more. Oh, I'm not counting Ollie. Ollie is also someone who has to be accounted for. So Kay has 5 people left and she has to have 4 more criminal neighbors. So we know now for sure that both Evie and Noah are criminal because let's say that Noah is an innocent and Evie is a criminal. Since Kay can only have 1, oh, she could have 2 innocent neighbors. No, she couldn't. That's 5 criminal neighbors that she has. So yeah, I was right. I was on the right track. Because in order for her to have 5 criminal neighbors, she can, among the remaining people, she can only have 4 criminals, which means that she has to have only one innocent. So we couldn't have both Noah and Evie. Oh my god, that isn't making any sense. Let's go back and start again. We know that Jason is gonna have one criminal neighbor here. The only way for Jason to have an odd number of criminal neighbors is either for him to have only one criminal neighbor or 3 of them. So we would have to have both Evie and Noah be criminal or both Evie and Noah be innocents. But Evie and Noah cannot both be innocents because that will break Kay's total amount of criminal neighbors. Because if both of them were criminal, then there's no way for her, Kay, to have 5 criminal neighbors, even if all the other people are criminals. Because there's now only 4 people left to be criminals. So we know for sure that both Noah and Evie are criminal. Nice. That makes sense now. And we don't need Jason's clue anymore. What did Logan tell us? An odd number of innocents on the edges neighbor Gabe. Gabe has 5 people neighboring him on the edges, and then a number of them have to be innocent. So far, 2 of them will be innocent. Jason and either Anna or Barb, that's 2. So we know for sure that Cheryl has to be an innocent as well. So that we have an odd number. And we don't need Logan's clue anymore. Now Cheryl tells us that only one of the 3 innocents neighboring Xena is Vince's neighbor. Xena and Vince share 2 neighbors, Ollie and Paula. Only one of them is an innocent. So this makes it so either Ruby or Zayed have to be an innocent because Xena has to have 3 total. And Vince is one of them, so that's 1. 2, counting with either Ollie or Paula, and 3 with Ruby or Zayed. So that's okay. Have I read Vince's clue? Logan's one of Kay's 5 criminal neighbors. Oh, that's it. Or is it? We know that Kay is gonna have one innocent neighbor here for sure. So that's her last possible innocent neighbor because, like I said before, she has to have 5 criminal ones and she has 3 here. So she's gonna have a 4th one here who's either gonna be Ollie or Paula, which tells us that Hilda has to be the 5th. And now Hilda tells us that only one of the 9 innocents on the edges is in row 2. So row 2 has 2 people on the edges. One of them is Evie, and she's not an innocent, so the other one has to be. And that clue also tells us that there's 9 innocents on the edges. How many do we have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have one more innocent on the edge, which tells me that either let's use the upper tags. Either Xena, blue ones. Either Xena or Diana are gonna be an innocent and the other one a criminal. What else? Who else is new? There's an odd number of criminals neighboring Evie. Criminals. Okay, we know for sure that Evie is gonna have one criminal neighbor here and one innocent one. And the other neighbor that we haven't assigned yet is Kay. If Kay were to be a criminal, she would have an even number of criminal neighbors because that would be 2. So Kay has to be an innocent, which means that Ollie has to be a criminal, which means that Paula has to be an innocent. Nice. Now Ollie tells us that Barb has more criminal neighbors than Xena. So we know that Xena has 2 criminal neighbors, right? Because she has 5 neighbors total. 3 of them are innocent, so Xena has 2, which tells me that Barb has to have 3 because she has Hilda, Evie, and one more who's gonna be Anna. So Barb is an innocent. And now Barb tells us that Diane and Ruby have an equal number of innocent neighbors. Diane has 2 innocent neighbors, so we know that Ruby has to have 2, and she already does. Well, That breaks. Or does it? Oh yeah, it works. I'm confused because of the color of the tags. Sorry about that. So yeah, Ruby has to have two criminal neighbors, two more criminal neighbors because she already has Logan, but she can't have any more innocent ones since Diane only has two, and they have to have an equal number. So both Xena and Ziad are criminal, and because of Xena, we know that Diane is an innocent, and because of Ziad, we know that Ruby is an innocent as well. So we are done. How long was that? Less than 10 minutes, and I'll green one for Friday. I'm really glad I did that, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back again tomorrow with more clues by Sam, and that will be for today. Don't forget to tell me how it went for you, if you did have any difficulties, and we can discuss logic if you'd like. Bye bye.